Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ost77 bringing you guys some commentary from the MSI Pro Cup number 12 quarterfinals. It's been a very long time, and by this point, you're probably asking yourselves, what is this tournament? Well, it's hosted by Millennium, sponsored by MSI, and some of their cups are span a matter of days, while this edition was a few weeks long. I believe it's because it's a certain championship. After a certain number of cups, there's one championship, one with a higher prize pool and longer length. So it's kind of the 13th edition is already passed, so this is kind of old by this point. But do bear with me because the games more than make up for their age, and as my school year has started, I will definitely get more active in my commentary. Random gas cancel there, probably for a drone trick or something of that sort. Overword trick, I believe it is. And so, let me get straight into the introduction of our players. In the bottom right, as the orange Zerg, it is Acer's Bly, the Ukrainian. Definitely a high-level European Zerg. Just has not really had his breakout tournament yet, so let's see if he can advance in this relatively, I would call this a mid-level tournament. Not premier, but not weekly. Well, he's up against an already well-established Korean Terran. This is the red Terran at the top left. Our map is Shakuras Plateau, by the way. From TSL, this is Polt. He was able to win, I believe, the 2011 GSL Super Tournament over MMA 4.0, something of that sort. I have definitely, over the past few months, read a ton of Wikipedia. Maybe not casted as much, but definitely learned a lot. I've kind of stepped back a little bit. Well, I did step back a little bit from the commentary just so that I can know my stuff, because I've watched some of my older commentaries and they were just lacking in just knowledge. I've committed more to playing the game more and raising my level on the ladder to just have a more in-depth knowledge of the game before I actually go out and start making these commentaries on pro games. But rest assured, I've learned an awful lot, and I hope you guys notice an increase in my commentary's quality. That's what I'm always striving for. But anyways, enough with the dramatic speeches. Let's just get on with it. Bolt is going for a very fast expand, pretty much in sync with his opponent's hatch at the natural. So it was delayed a little bit by the drone harass, which almost took the life of this poor SCV, but he just barely held on with his fusion cutter. I knew that. I was just confirming. The Overlord Scout is now moving in to place behind the natural, so you can just see that shift rally point, setting it up right back there in the no-fly zone, which is actually the incorrect term. They use that in conflict. But nonetheless, spawning pool has finished for Bly, so regularly timed opening from him. Let's see if he's going to grab an early third once he gains vision of his opponent's natural. He has, so I can definitely imagine Bly popping down another expansion, because it will be quite some time before Polt can actually hit with a strong timing. He's just pumping out some Marines, likely going to throw down a bunker to hold off against any early Banewing bust like aggression. Bly did, I believe, favor that kind of play in the last game, which he won on Ohana. This, of course, is kind of vague in my memory, as it was a few weeks ago that I did cast it. So the Queen here was able to take down one of Polt's scouts, and Bly getting a fairly nice Overlord spread. He's got them going all about the map, and there are two Marines here oddly heading in to this natural of one of the other main bases. I'm not sure why. Maybe trying to pick off an Overlord moving into position. I do not really see the sense in that. There are both Zelnaga towers controlled by Bly, so he's got very nice vision of the map, especially putting his Overlords to good use. Yeah, maybe Polt was trying to go and snipe some of his opponent's Overlords. We do have 3 Queens total from Bly. Actually 4, so he's really favoring his creep spread here, which is quite useful on Shakuras Plateau when you're trying to secure down that third base, because it's wide open to just, especially from a Zerg point of view, just a Terran coming in here, dropping right behind the mineral line and just picking off some drones and leaving, or just running in with Hellions. It's a very open expansion as opposed to the natural, so it's extremely useful to have these 2 extra Queens. One, you would generally see 1, but Bly is not scared to go all out because he has seen his opponent's expansion, so he knows he can kind of bend the rules a little bit in his favor. He is now dropping his third. Let's check our income tab. He does have 8 more drones than his opponent, but Polt is constantly producing SCVs. He's supply blocked right now. Well, he wasn't necessarily supply blocked, but right at his cap. Now 2 Hellions moving out here. My apologies for not actually calling that before they came out of their reactor factory. We do have weapons level 1 as well. So here are these Hellions trying to poke in at the creeps, spreading queens to no avail, as with that range upgrade, as I've said before, a lot of Terrans players have been scared off of using Hellions. You've seen a lot more of the, well, at least I was watching the TSL4 today, and I saw, I believe it was Sting against, no, sorry, it was Keen against Life in the semifinals, and I saw him use some Blue Flame Hellions in that TvZ matchup, because really even though Blue Flame has since been nerfed, it's one of the few viable ways that Terran players can actually exact significant damage on their opponents without having to worry too much about insufficient damage output. It does definitely give them a buffer, but Polt has no such intention of upgrading that, as he just has the reactor still on there, not overcommitting at all. He has a total of 5 Hellions. Any more near his base? Yes, there's a total of 6, just not here. One of them maybe back at home. Yeah, just getting repaired, so quite intelligent of him. These overlords, one of them was killed actually off by Polt. You guys saw that on my view. So Bly has yet to actually get any drones at his third. He's making Banelings now with his 1-1 on the way. A lot of upgrades as well from Polt. He's got some Marines and Marauders, 2 more Hellions with Stim, combat shields. We also have our centrifugal hooks, the essential Baneling speed upgrade, and an infestation pit. So Ling, Baneling, Infester, no roaches to buffer as of yet. Bly seems to enjoy his tier 1 units. I mean, with sufficient micro, he'll definitely, they pay off them. They pay for themselves essentially. That's what I was trying to say. These tier 1 units, some nicely placed Baneling detonations will definitely cost the Terran player, but Polt smartly has his Marauders at the front. There is no feasible way Bly will be able to hit those soft Marines, or even the Hellions for that matter. Bly is trying to move them in. He was able to get a lot of Marine kills, but at the cost of too many Banelings. These Hellions now outrunning those green acid-filled bugs, and only one of them did fall, so we do see Polt with a significant supply advantage, and this is actually definitely a worrisome time here for Bly. Will he be able to hold this off? His spine crawlers and creep spread denied, and he now is hatching a bunch of links out of his third. But that's the thing about Zerg players' reinforcements. If you just go to one base, then let's say he's got 3 bases and he's producing an equal amount of units out of all of them, you've cut off 1/3 of his reinforcements, and thus completely, not completely, but definitely negated a certain portion of them. Now, Bly is just trying to get a good Baneling engage. He's definitely going to need some clutch detonations. He gets a lot off, but again, some of them run into Marauders and just do not necessarily push Polt back as much as Bly would have hoped. He's significantly behind in supply. This macro hatch here definitely going to fall. The creep spread from Bly, formerly seen to by 2 brave queens, is now completely gone, and Polt is reinforcing at his opponent's front door. These Banelings now coming out though and hitting the Marauders in just such sheer force that Polt may have to pull out. It's going to be a very close engage here, but again, the supply difference 83 to 50, that is significant. The Zerg player is always the one that's way ahead, so now Polt is just going to make this one hurt and kill as many drones as he can before the reinforcements arrive. If he gets this hatch, I definitely think that is the game. Bly does not run these links in fast enough. He's just trying to mass up to ultimately save his life rather than his natural, but I just don't think he's going to be able to come out of this one on top. Just far too well done there by Polt. Polt is still on 2 bases, 49 harvesters to 31. He has taken no damage. It's not like Bly was able to get a Ling run by, so now he's just trying to defend against Polt because he knows they're going to be on even grounds. He's able to repel the attackers, but I definitely think that this one is Polt's. Bly is just on 1 base, and 1 base Zerg, let me tell you, unless it's a 7 roach rush, is not a good thing at all, even a 7 roach rush. The hatchery now being recuperated here at the natural, but I definitely, I sound like a total cynic, and I sound very repetitive, but unless Bly could get a fantastic burrowed Baneling detonation, which he seems to be researching, or maybe some clutch fungals, or just burrowed infestors and infested Terrans to wipe out one of these bases, I think Polt is too far ahead for anything to really happen besides a miracle. He then now has his third base. He's moving past 55 harvesters, almost at 60 now. That is near double, 13 shy of double Bly's harvester count. And of course, as I said, Zerg point of view, you always want to be ahead in pretty much everything unit-wise, unit count, drone count. But Bly is neither of those at the moment. 6 infestors on the way. He does have his pathogen glands finished from before. His opponent does boast 1-1 upgrades, while Bly is getting his 2-1. He's 70 supply behind, though, so unless he can get a really nice fungal off, which is possible, because there are a lot of Marines in this composition with the Marauders at the front, or at least that is what Polt is trying to do, then it looks like his Terran opponent's going to be able to pull this one off. Let's see how Bly does with his fungals. None as of yet. He gets a nice one off there, just trapping all the units. The Infestor does go down, though, so he only has a handful left. Scarcely even a handful at that. There's another nice fungal with no Banelings left, so there's only 5 Infestors, slowly thinning out because they have such low health, only 90. They're fungaling Hellions at this point, but it's just, I think the game is, Bly is just too deep in his coffin under the ground at this point to be able to come back. He calls the GG right there, so this is 2-1 Polt. He moves on to the next round. Hope you enjoy this game, guys. I will definitely bring you some fresher material next time. Maybe from MLG's Summer Championship if they have released replays. Nonetheless, catch you guys then. Os77 signing out.